Hey everybody, so here's a book review of the Biblia Hebraicus Great Density of Readers edition. First thing, how big is it? How heavy is it? I can lift it up with one hand without too much trouble. How big is it? Here's a piece of printer paper, 8.5 by 11. You can almost see all of it. And I'll set the BHS on it. So you get a general sense of how big it is. I'd say it's Bible-sized, very typical standard Bible size. I don't find it too heavy myself, but you know, it's definitely not a pocket reader. Alright, so let's get right into it. So I'm just going to flip up here to the first chapter of Genesis. I'll just give a little example of how it's used, and I think that'll clarify how it's used. I had a lot of questions before I bought it myself. I'm a Hebrew beginner, super beginner, and so hopefully this will help some people. So here we go. Genesis is in English and Hebrew. That's kind of nice. If you lose where you are in the book, it is in English as well. So for example, so you're trying to read chapter 1, verse 1. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'haaretz hata tohu v'hu v'koshek al pnei pnei tahom. Okay, so what if, and this probably happens a lot, I know it happens a lot to me, what if you're like, okay, I knew some of those words, but tohu, vavohu, and tahom, I don't know what those mean. Now, typically, ordinarily, you'd have to go to the lexicon, look up the words in a dictionary-like setting, and then come back, apply the meaning, etc. Lexicons are great tools, but if you have to do it all the time, it can really interrupt the reading. And it can take, so here we have a little A, a little B, and a little C next to those three words. And so you go to verse 2, hopefully you can see down here, verse 2a, says tohu, formless space, B, bohu, empty, C, tahom, primordial deep. Super helpful to have it all on one page. I'd say that having it right there saves you probably about 6 minutes of like flipping through a lexicon. And when you multiply it by all of the words that you probably won't know that you would otherwise have to look up, I would estimate that sort of built-in lexicon to the BHS text probably is going to save me and everybody else hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of like dictionary flipping. That alone makes me love the book. Okay, but the parsing system, I had a lot of questions. What is parsing? Does it mean they're changing the text of the Bible to simplify it, or what is parsing? Parsing, nope, the text is 100% Hebrew Bible text, the BHS. What parsing means is that verbs and whatnot, all the different things, have different forms. And so it's like a little code system that people have developed. So like S70 or S72, S0. And it's a simplified shorthand way of saying this verb, for example, is a masculine third-person verb in the PL conjugation or something like that. I actually haven't learned all the code. I've learned a little bit of it. Overall, I found that I think is a super helpful tool, but I haven't used it a ton myself. Lastly, they don't parse every word. In other words, not every word is listed in the running footer, but the words that are, the words that aren't are in the back. So they have a Hebrew and Aramaic glossary in the back. So if a word isn't listed in the footer, you can always look it up in the back if you don't know it, which, that's me, I'm back here quite a bit. Yeah, lastly, I guess, it's constructed very nicely. You get 2 bookmarks. I was impressed by the binding, quality paper. Yeah, honestly, text is a tad small. I was learning Hebrew in a textbook that had like really gigantic font. I'd say it took me probably 2 to 3 months actually before I could use this thing confidently and enjoy it. At first it was kind of brutal. But in the big historical picture of Hebrew studies, the fact that they combined through like so much work, and thanks so much to the authors for doing it, that they combined like a lexicon and a Bible in like one book, so you can learn the words by reading them and just referencing the bottom all the time, instead of flipping in between like a lexicon and a Bible. I think it just makes Hebrew super accessible to people like myself who are complete beginners and just kind of, So I'd give it a 5 out of 5. I mean, I'm very, very pleased and impressed with the scholarship. I mean, I think, it's quite a feat. So thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.